for the Blue Ribbon Committee meeting February 11th, 2025, in the absence of Don Dodge, who, our chairman, who has the flu. So I'm calling this to order. We are all here with the exception of our chairman. As I understand it, we don't have minutes, so we will move to the next thing on the agenda, which is my report. And I will say this, I did meet with Mayor Myers, and I think that meeting went well. We discussed the previous meeting and the meeting coming up on the 25th. Other than that, I don't have a report, but I will be asking some of us, after Commissioner Loring makes his report, I will be asking for assignments. We have things to do in the next 2 days in order to prepare for the meeting of the 25th. I think with that, I'm going to turn it over to Commissioner Loring and for your report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In front of you, you should have printed out the final report, or final draft of the report that we've been working so hard on the last 7 months, I guess, give or take. I gave you guys a rough draft about 2 weeks ago, and this is the final one with all the pictures and all the formatting, and I think it turned out really well. And it was a lot of work. There is another version, of course, that is actually in the book. That's a kind of whole entire book. I think it ended up, I forgot what it said it was, 262 pages. So that was 262 pages of your work and all of this that we've been putting together. So it's quite a formidable binder when you have it all done. But I'm proud of it. I think we did a great job. I think it looks good. And I think that it lays the whole case out for, acquiring the school. I think we have exhausted and explored and researched just about everything that we can right now, as far as the value goes, the appraisals, all that stuff that's in there. And we made the case, I think very convincingly, that the city should acquire the school for no cost from the school district. Of course, that means that we have to convince them both of that, and the city first, the city commission first. So that's what we'll do this week. On Thursday, we'll be giving books to each one of the commissioners, or binders like you've gotten with this in here, the final report in there. And also I have a PDF that's has it all, and it's all linked inside there. So that's ready to go and will be distributed to the clerk and everybody on Friday. So it's done, y'all. It's we've come a long way, and I don't know if well, the big important thing now is that we need to make sure that we are ready to go on the 25th. We've been working on the presentation with John and slideshow, and I've been working on slides now too, and getting the graphics put together. I think we're up to like 24 slides or something now. We still have a few more pictures to take. And I'm waiting for stuff from REG, the architects, so we'll put that in the slideshow. But I think it looks really good. It'll look really good. And we did the run through on Saturday, John, and I think good job. It was a good job. And we'll have to do that again, I think, when we get all the slides ready. Do you think that's?
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So you have the books ready. Do you have them?
They're at home. They just need, I printed out most of the stuff that needs to go in, we just have to assemble them. And I think Mr. Miller is gonna help me do that after the meetings this morning. So, and Rachel's at home to do it.
Okay, there's a list of people we need to get the books to.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna go over that.
Okay.
Of course, the first thing is to get them to the city commissioners. I plan to take one to Commissioner Moore. And I have emailed her, I don't have her phone number, but I have emailed her, and I plan to do that either this morning or tomorrow morning. And we need to get one to, so I'm volunteering to do that. We need to get one to the other commissioners. And who would be willing to take one to Commissioner DeVito?
She's my neighbor.
All right. Now, when we do this, if they want to ask questions, I think we should say, do you have questions? And we should try to answer those, and if, I don't think we should I think we should go back again to answer those questions. So they'll be prepared, they'll understand what the blue book is about, and they'll know what the contents is. They're gonna take it and digest it, and we should go back a second time. I don't think we need to deliver one to Commissioner Allred, I think.
Recited from memory.
I see it in my dreams when I close my eyes, yes.
And I have seen, Commissioner Brennan, and I will take one to her.
Mr. Burton, is that you?
I will do that.
Yeah.
As soon as I get one, I will take it to them. And then I guess I'll take the one to the mayor too.
Okay.
So I have 3 that I will deliver.
Okay, and Kevin, you have DeVito, okay.
Agree.
And, so I, like I said, we have a commission meeting, actually we have a special meeting tomorrow at 10 AM, right, it's 10. I was trying to say it was 10:30 this morning, but 10, and then Thursday we have a regular commission meeting. I would suggest waiting until Friday and give it to, so that we're done with that stuff, because you don't want to pile too much on
Have a busy week.
You're suggesting we not give it out until Friday?
till Friday, because we have to get done, let's get done with our commission meeting on Thursday, and so we don't have, so that they have time to digest it, I don't want to just throw it to the side, give it to them on Friday, and that's where everything can go live. We'll put it on and I'll give it to the clerk to post it to the website too. And, that's my suggestion. Because they're not gonna have a chance to read it before Thursday. The special meeting tomorrow is a meeting on Thursday, so I think Friday,
There's a meeting on Wednesday,
tomorrow, yes,
yes, that's in the morning.
10 AM, yes. It's a special meeting to discuss our next steps in the city manager search.
Yes, but
And we-
there's one in the evening, a regular meeting.
Yes,
And should I be at that meeting?
you are welcome to. I think that it might be a good reminder that we are, to everyone, that we're, have the meeting on the 25th coming up, and you might want to remind the commission and you can inform them then that they would be getting their books tomorrow, the day after. I think that would be a good way to do it.
Okay.
So they're expecting it.
Well, I emailed Commissioner Moore and said I might get it today or tomorrow.
If you want, they'll be done, apparently, or it should be done this afternoon. I can give them to you, or have them sent to you or dropped off to you.
Okay. If she calls me, I'll tell her it's not quite ready.
I just would think that Friday, everybody will be, our main, our brains will be clear from the commission meeting, hopefully. And, moving on, I don't know, after commission meetings, I don't feel very clear, but, it's time to move to something else, so.
Do you have a copy of the contract yet?
No, I don't, I'm waiting for that. So, I have in the PDF, I have just a placeholder that says the contract is still under development on the electronic PDF. I did email and I emailed, Charlie Douglas and Lisa Miles yesterday, but I have not heard back. I know that they have it, in theory, it's completely done except for the legal descriptions. And the problem is, those legal descriptions you have to get for all those parcels that make up the property, and so they're waiting until the title for that. So, and we know how long the title is. So I've emailed Krista about the title to see if she's working on that. I have not heard back from her, and I have not heard back from Douglas Law. Of course, it was yesterday afternoon when I messaged them, so. I don't know. They know that they knew that we're having a meeting today, and they know that, we're at a deadline, so, I will call them later today, I guess, and see what's going on. I mean, I told them I can put it together and look at the deeds and figure it out, but I'm not, that's not my expertise, but it might be better than waiting for the title. So I mean, they'll get it to me. But I guess, we need to have that, put it in the book as well, so.
Okay. Danny?
If I may offer,
Would you like to say something?
if I might offer a contract, sorry. First, I'm a first cup of coffee, so, a comment as regards the legal. The legal, of course, is critically important, but not for the immediate purposes. As I understand it, all the many deeds that comprise the mosaic that made that property, the legals from all of those will be required. That is not something that will fit on the 2 lines in the form FARBAR commercial contract. It will be a very, very extensive attachment to the contract. So I'd suggest that perhaps go ahead and move forward, because the contract appears to be complete but for that. And then that attachment could easily, be appended. The lawyer will figure out the best way to do that, but for the purposes of the presentation in the book, I'd suggest that may suffice.
But in my email to Douglas, I did say, can I have a draft of it, everything but the legal description, and have not gotten a response yet, so we'll see.
So you're basically prepared to give them that.
Yes.
One more comment I forgot. To identify the property on the contract, there's room for the address, and it's 101 and 201 South Prospect, and that keys to the addresses for all of those properties that have been, keys to the legals for all those properties that the property appraiser has on their website. And again, that would be sufficient.
And I've been thinking a lot about my presentation. And I want to talk, the meat of the answer that's before the commission will be, how will we get it funded? I want to address that a little bit. It's a little bit of history. When I was on the school board in the 70s, I was appointed to represent the smaller counties in the state in relation to funding from the state. This was the end of the control in the legislature by the smaller rural counties. And I was told bluntly by one of the representatives from Dade County that that control was over. And the populous counties around the edge of the state were now in control. And he was correct. He said, but however, we understand the rural nature of the state, and the legislature will always, he said, we understand that's where the water is, that's where the resources are that we will need in the future. And he said the legislature will always look out for that portion of the state that doesn't have the population. Said over 80% of the population is 5 miles from the coast, all the way around. And that has held true. And it still holds true today. So the source of money is from the state that will come to help fund this project. It's not just from one source, it's from many sources. But that's going to be the basis of how we get this property repurposed. The money is going to take to redo those buildings, to put it into usable shape as not only a community center, but a cultural center for this whole end of the county. So I want everyone here to understand that, because when we come on the 25th, that subject is going to come up. And we are in a new federal administration. And that's going to influence us to a degree. But it's not going to interfere in the state. This state is a very wealthy state. We have money. We have plenty of money. And how it is spent is important. And keeping the rural nature of the small towns intact is a priority for the state. Okay, I think I've said enough. I sound like I'm giving my talk.
That's good.
Maybe I'll practice.
And that reminded me of something. I was going to poll you guys and see, in the whole executive briefing, we used the word community center, and we use that over and over to describe what we want to do with this project. But I don't think it's really a great descriptor, because you say community center and you think of like the women's club or something, like a hall that you rent out. And we've gone through a bunch of different options to try to figure out what fits best, and I need some input from you guys. Because the community center just doesn't work. This is much bigger than that. And, I think Mr. Frank had suggested like a city center or a village center, which I like that term, except they use it a lot, developers, they always over in Flagler, there's the Palm Coast Town Center, and developers use that a lot to build shopping centers. And I'm like, that's not really a town center. I just don't know, this is so many things in one, and I don't know how to describe it. And I would love for someone to tell me what to do.
I would suggest the term civic center.
Mm-hmm.
Well, cultural center too.
Okay. Anybody have any other
I got Hub, use Hub as the center.
Yeah, I tried out Hub, like Community Hub, and I thought that worked well because that's a lot of things together, and it's, it works. I think I liked it. I was trying it. Because even Civic Center, or Cultural Center, that doesn't really describe all of it, I don't, does anybody have I would love for an answer, or love for, because in that report, there's 12 different times it says community center. So, it would be nice to replace that with something else, because I just don't think community center does it as a descriptor. I think community hub would do it, because we want it to kind of be the center of everything. I don't know, what do you guys feel about that?
Do you want to go city or could we go South Putnam, or Fruitland Peninsula?
I don't, I think the city would have,
Yeah.
because if the city owns it.
The city.
Yeah. I liked Crescent City Community Hub, and then you can make it, and just call it the hub, like people would call it that, as like a nickname, like, oh, it's down at the hub. I don't know. Do we have any other feelings or not bad about that? I can't, community center just doesn't do it for me.
Okay, I also have a list of potential speakers. And they all have to be invited. And I would go down that list and see who would like to take some of these.
Okay.
Harry Banks,
I can talk to him.
okay. I'm looking at your name, I might think about it.
Yeah.
All right. Bill Pickens. Bill Pickens is gonna be the incoming president of Rotary.
I'll ask him, what are you asking? What are you asking?
We want people speakers to,
This would be speakers to speak on the 25th.
Okay.
in favor of the.
And, some of them will, you can invite them, but they have reasons that they can't. And he might, Holly Pickens is on the board, so he might say, I don't think I can.
But we need to invite them and confirm that they're gonna come and let you know,
All right,
right?
who's gonna talk to Bill?
I will.
All right, Joe Pickens, I think that should be BJ.
Got it.
Holly Pickens, and I don't know that she could come before us.
I think that would be a conflict of interest.
Mhm.
I think you'd have a conflict of interest.
Yeah, we don't wanna put her in a position that's uncomfortable, but.
All right, I think that's probably true. Barbara Scholl, a letter, who would talk to Barbara?
I'll talk to Barbara.
All right, Jim Paget,
I can talk to him. It's been a while since I talked to him, actually. I don't know if I have his number. I have Libby's number.
okay. Gerald Watson, I'll do Gerald Watson. J.R. Newbold, I wonder who should.
I
I think that's another conflict of interest.
Probably better.
That's the third.
All right, Brad Purcell, I've already talked to him, he said, I do not want to appear, but he'll write a letter, but I'll talk to him again about the letter. I've already talked to Nancy Harris, and she needs some information, so I'll take her one of these reports.
Okay, you want, I was gonna print some more for you later today, if you want, if you need some more.
All right, Judy West,
I think Ron might be able.
I'll talk to her.
you gonna talk to her? That would be good.
Thank you.
Unless you want me to talk to J.R. and you talk to Judy.
Okay, how about Terry Turner?
I can talk to him.
You think you know him?
Yeah,
Okay,
I don't know if he wants to come talk, but I can ask him.
all right, Jeannie Wolf or Paul?
Jenny. They'll be, Paul will be here today after this meeting. I have a meeting at 10:30 that I have to be at because Dan Hodge is sick. So I will ask Paul and if Jenny is there. see if-
Okay,
So, and I already talked to Brian, Laura from REG and invited Rick, the principal of REG. And I don't know if they'll be able to come, but they seemed interested in the opportunity, so.
that's good, yes. And the other two speakers I have are Dan Dodge and Kevin Jordan. I think
I don't know,
I'm speaking to Kevin right now.
he's a difficult character, I don't know, put it on him.
Okay, I will remind Dan. And you're gonna talk to a principal from REG.
Yes.
All right.
Already talked. And more than that, of course, everybody else, we just need people to show up and be here and support. I mean, we should have this whole room full of people. It would make it much more difficult for them to turn us down. When you have a room full of people that obviously are in favor of this. So,
That's the 25th at 6 o'clock.
25th at 6 o'clock, yes. And, you know, the more people, the better. I hope all of you guys will be there. And, you know, well, the Historical Society will be sending out emails and trying to activate all that and get everybody here for that. And then in addition, that next week, March 4th, is the meeting at the school board. That is 3:30 in the afternoon on March 4th. That day is also very important. We want to, that meeting that they're having is just to discuss this. So as is the city commission meeting on the 25th, as the only thing on the agenda, that's the only thing we're there to discuss. So it's very important that people show up and at both of those, especially up in Blacktop on March 4th. So
3 o'clock.
3:30,
3:30.
but 3 o'clock's good because you'll be there early. Because I mean, these are the times that people need to show up. This is the most important meeting that we're gonna have, and the most important meeting for the future of this school, is that people show up and talk in support of this. And if you have people that have questions and wanna know more, it's gonna be on the website for the city, it's gonna be on the website for the historical society too. So when we have that up, I'll let you know, but it should be by the end of the week, so everything should be available. And you know, it's important that people talk about this, that people get the information out, that people know the truth, and stop saying $4.5 million, because that's not happening. I mean, that's not, you know, we're not asking the city to spend any money right now, and we don't plan on doing that. That's not what we've been working on all this time, so it's really important that we get that out there, and that people understand the truth.
Okay.
And Mr. Chairman, if you could actually have, I would like, if possible, to have someone make a motion and a vote on accepting the report to be presented, so that I have authority to, you know, put it out there.
I move we accept the report that has been prepared for the Ribbon Committee
Okay, is there,
presentation.
okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, is there further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Okay, it passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, anything else that should come before us? Is there new business or old business? All right, Mr. Miller.
If I could just, make a few general comments, please. As regards the naming, excuse me, I respectfully suggest that hub is a currently trendy term. And what's being considered is something that will hopefully endure for a century. And that perhaps the term hub may not age well. There's a lot of C's, but as I was listening, you know, Crescent City, you know, community, you know, civic and cultural center, you know, but regardless of what it is, on facilities like that, the public kind of just organically comes up with a verbal shorthand for it. Another thought is, there was mention of letters, and then you discussed a long list of people. Any who are unable or unwilling, I'd suggest you ask them for a letter of general support that could be introduced into the record, or if it's a particularly compelling letter, perhaps even read in to the record. And the thought occurred that if Joe Pickens, perhaps you might invite the whoever the head of the Flow Arts program is to also write a letter, just kind of generally in support.
With that in mind, when there are letters, I think it's important that the Blue Ribbon Committee be represented on the 25th, not just John Duval. So when it comes times for those letters, I'm going to ask maybe Nancy and Kevin to come up and read those letters rather than John Duval just be the dog and pony show.
I agree.
And we'll have you those letters previous so you can be, okay.
That works. I like that.
There was conversation, of course, about the absolute necessity for community support. And to that end, perhaps the, whoever the president of the women's club is might appear, write a letter, or otherwise indicate that organization's support, and perhaps at the county level, the Putnam County Historical Society as well. The more folks that are supportive, the better. And then the last comment is if the city commission votes to approve the proposal of the Blue Ribbon Committee, would it not then be very important for the city commissioners en masse to appear at the meeting on March 4th? It would be a bad look if there were no shows. It'd be a real bad look.
Yeah, that's a good point, and I'll emphasize that. And I would include all the commissioners to read letters, not just all the Blue Ribbon Committee members.
I'll talk to someone from the women's club.
Okay, good. I'll be right with you.
It'd be good if we could get Rotary to write a letter of support.
Oh, that's the 4th, isn't it?
Yes.
Do the county archivists play a role, support a role?
All right, we have 2 more things on the agenda. Is there anything we need to address on the agenda? Okay, then the next item is our next meeting. We only have 1 more week before the 25th, you know. But I do think the day after the 25th, we should have a meeting, which would be on the 26th. And that would show a sense of urgency about what's gonna happen on the 4th.
Yeah, because that's the hard part is if we concentrate on the 25th, we forget a week later is the 4th. So we also need to get the binders ready for that, and we need to lobby school board members.
So the 26th is a Wednesday, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we want to do a 9 a.m. meeting on the 26th. Is that okay with you, Melanie?
Yes.
Do we need to have a meeting in between?
I don't think so. I mean, as far as, you know, as the group goes, I mean, the report is done. We approved it. Basically, we all have to just do our part to lobby and to get the word out there. But I really don't think we need to meet as a body. I mean, that's my feeling.
How many of us here do Facebook?
I hate it. I stay off of it.
I'm not,
But Rachel does.
that, we need to put this on our Facebook pages. We need, and the Historical Society meets between now and then, and they need to get it on their page. It's really important. This is one of the most critical decisions the city commission is gonna make in the next few years. And we need to remember, we know it, but we need the community to understand. The Blue Ribbon Committee has no power. We only make recommendations to the city. The city commissioners, it's in their hands. They set the policy for the city. This is a great policy decision. And it should be one of the easiest decisions they have ever made. But I hope that's what we convey to them ultimately. I did. Here I am preaching again. What I'm supposed to
It's
say.
good practice.
But you have, the BRC has made it a lot easier. And you've made the collection of all the information and progress. And you yourself, John, have done a great job of moving us forward as far as the relationship with the school district. We would have never gotten anywhere without you and without this committee being able to meet and talk and do what we've done and talk to the people we've done. And, you know, it would never have happened. I know because I'm there. It took me 2 years to get the city commission to even pay attention to this. And 2 years before that, Danny was working on it and to go nowhere. So, you guys have excelled beyond my wildest dreams, so, thank you. We've gotten,
And before we leave, I want to commend additional Lori and all of this help, and Rachel, Danny had a part in it. We've all had a part in it. But he is the one that has put it together, and we as a committee cannot thank you enough. And I'm going to emphasize that on the 25th also. But it's not it's not Commissioner Lori's show. It is the commissioner, it's the city commissioner's show. It's their deal. And we want them to understand that completely. The sooner we can get this booklet into their hands and let them ask questions, the sooner it'll happen, yes. Okay, anything else to come before the good of the cause tonight?
I have a question about Facebook. What would you want put on Facebook? Just general Facebook, local ones?
I mean, we,
Yeah.
About
About the meeting
the
on the
225,
25th.
okay.
That you should come and be present.
and we'll, Rachel will be doing a post for the Historical Society, on our account. And when you can always share that to whatever groups you're in or any other places, so we'll have that put together in a few days, so that you should see it out there. And that's really, we'll put it on the group and our page and share it to other people, and that's how it kind of blows up real fast on Facebook.
There's a big class reunion being organized. Are you familiar with that, Nancy? I mean, a letter from that group would be a big help if we could find out who's organizing that. And it's like from the 60s through the 80s, something like that.
60s,
It's a
70s.
big group, this time. And they're meeting out at Trimsarasa.
Antony, is Antony doing that?
No,
No?
I don't know.
it's Ralph Marriott, who's currently in the hospital, very sick, organized it. The last time they did that, and it was really kind of an ad hoc effort, they had over 300 people there. I'd like to speak generally to the social media and communication effort, kind of with a historical society hat on. Getting the word out in education is what the Historical Society is all about. So the Historical Society is hard at work to make some tweaks to their website to help disseminate information. Public has to be engaged, they have to know what's going on, they have to have the opportunity to have the questions and concerns answered. There's a lot of bad misinformation, to use a trendy term, that's out there that needs to be dispelled. So that, plus as BJ mentioned, social media, all of it will be shareable. And so that will hopefully do a whole lot to get the information out of the community. And as regards the class reunion with hopefully 300 plus people there, and folks who went to school there are likely to be the most emotionally supportive of this effort. So the Historical Society, with Rachel's help, will put together a flyer to be handed out there with websites on it, where people can go on and register so that they're in the loop. So there's a tremendous communication effort that's going to be undertaken.
But isn't that meeting after the 25th?
It is. It's going to be on the 15th.
Yeah.
It is what it is, but we still need to leverage that gathering because there's going to be so much work beginning March 5th and continuing for years, frankly, that these folks' support will be absolutely critical. They'll help get the word out.
Okay. All right, is there anything else that we need to bring up? If not, do I hear a motion that we adjourn?
So moved.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. Hopefully, I'll see you on the 25th.